Okay, so we are live. A couple minutes away from the event starting. So this is going to be an ITT event with all the riders choosing a TT bike. We have chosen a short event today just to see how this feels. Um, and each person has a time gap, 1 minute gap between each person based on their current fitness levels.
Right on!
So we've started. We were supposed to have 4 people today, but one person didn't show up. So the next person that's going to be starting is Lavanya, and Lavanya will be starting exactly at. Oh, I think Sasikant has kick-started his ride. So Lavanya will start exactly at 4:31. So we are a couple of seconds away from Lavanya starting. So I'm just waiting for it to turn 4:31 and Lavanya can get started now. And she's off. So let's keep an eye on Lavanya. She's off to a good flying start. 300 plus watts to kick it off. Excellent power. Wow, she's really doing a good effort to start it off. So this is awesome. Next up would be Dr. Lavangi, and she would be starting um, at the 4:32 marker. So exactly 1 minute after Lavanya. So till then we'll just keep an eye on what Lavanya does, and she's putting out some solid numbers right now. Um, her heart rate is coming into her zone, the threshold zone. So a couple more seconds and Dr. Lavangi can start now. So let's quickly jump over. Up. She still hasn't started. Looks like her avatar is still in place. Okay, Lavanya is still on it though, so she's still doing a solid effort down the road. Um, let me see what's going on with Dr. Lavangi. Anyhow, it's 2 minutes after Lavanya, so now Sasi can start. Um, I'm not sure if Sasi saw my message, but he's also not starting. Okay. Alright, let's just go back to Lavanya in the meantime. She's still doing a hard effort here, so let's take a look at her and see what she's up to. So her heart rate is hovering around the 178 marker. She brought it up really quick and she's been on it since. Okay, looks like Dr. Lavangi is on as well, so minor glitch, but anyhow, she's off and we can keep an eye on both Dr. Lavangi as well as Lavanya now. Sasikant is yet to start. He needs to choose a TT bike as well, so I think he needs to go into the menu and then make that change before he starts. But anyhow, okay, Doc Lavangi, she's off and she's doing some decent power right now. She's just getting warmed up. She's got a good high cadence, 96, 97. Lavanya's up ahead. She's about 2.5 minutes ahead. And here we go, Sasi started as well. He's off to a flying start, doing some solid power numbers. 300 watts. Okay, Dr. Lavangi's off and she's crossing the banner right now, doing 2.1 watts per kilo. She's settling into a rhythm, and Lavanya's up the road. She's chomping down the miles all the way up ahead. Okay, so there's like a 2.5 minute gap between Lavanya and Dr. Lavangi. She's slowly trying to reel back Lavanya in, and Sasi is about another 40 seconds behind Dr. Lavangi. So all three of them are from different fitness levels, so they are not racing against each other, but more so against themselves. This is going to set a benchmark for them for any future event when they participate in Zwift. So the gap between the riders isn't really changing much at all, which is a good sign. It indicates that all of them are giving it a good hard effort and are doing similar watts per kilo. Um, since this is the first event, we wanted to hold an ITT event just to see how this events format rolls out. Everyone is supposed to choose a TT bike. Obviously, Sasi's got a road bike here. The main reason for that was that a road bike does have drafting benefits in Zwift, whereas a TT bike doesn't really allow you to draft anyone. But since this is a private event, Sasi doesn't really have any other cyclist in this map that he can draft off of. So for this specific event, it should be okay. Um, anyway, since everyone is new to this kind of format, the first few rides is always going to be a bit confusing. So from the next time around, we can ensure that everyone is on the right type of bike. Right, back to Dr. Lavangi, and again, the gaps are kind of hovering around the same region. Everyone is doing pretty similar power numbers. So in terms of watt per kilo, so that's a good thing. Okay, I would like to see a little bit more cadence from Lavanya, but apart from that, she's doing really well. She's holding steady power, so that's a good sign. Everyone is kind of settled in. Their heart rate is reaching that threshold limit right now. They are staying in that zone and just chugging along. Sasi is doing a hard effort up the 3% incline right here. Um, one one thing about Sasi's situation right now, the road bike is not as fast as a TT bike in Zwift. So even if Sasi is doing a little bit more in terms of power numbers, his overall speeds are not going to be on par with the TT bike. Um, so it's a bit of a challenge for Sasi, but he's a strong rider, so um, the important thing is that he should work hard and push himself for today's event. So we are about halfway into the event. The total distance is 13.4 kilometers, so it's not a very long event. It should be over in about 24 minutes at best. As we can see, it's got a little bit of climbing as well. It's not a fully hilly course, but there are certain sections where you have certain inclines as well, so it's going to challenge the riders accordingly. So we can see that Sasi is slowly reeling in Dr. Lavangi. The gap was about 40 seconds a few minutes ago. Now it's about 22 seconds. So Sasi is really working hard and slowly catching up. We can also see on the top right corner, you have a small map which indicates where the riders are on the map. Sasi is going to be coming up on Dr. Lavangi very, very quickly. So, good fun. So the interesting thing is both Lavanya and Dr. Lavangi are kind of holding similar power numbers, and the gap is not really going up or down. It's going to be interesting to see at the end of the race, based on the race results, since they all started at a different time. Um, it's definitely going to be interesting. Sasi is certainly putting in a hard effort. He's about 15 seconds away from Dr. Lavangi. He should be able to see her on the map now on the Zwift UI, and that's going to give him added incentive to catch up really quick and overtake her. He's doing close to 4 watts per kilo. There, now we can see Sasi's pretty close, and he's about 5 seconds away from Dr. Lavangi. Let's get back to Lavanya really quick. Okay, we can see that she's pushing hard. Her heart rate was about 178 for about the first 10 minutes. Now it's up to 186, 187, so she's certainly giving it her all. Okay. Dr. Lavangi is about to be caught by Sasi. He's right behind her now. He's 2 seconds behind. Now, had Sasi had a TT bike with him, he would have probably been a bit faster for today. But he's still going pretty hard. He's doing the best that he could given the circumstance. So kudos to him for that. There, now he's doing a good hard effort to cross Dr. Lavangi and keep pushing on. The best thing of an ITT is that it's always you versus you. Everyone comes from a different background fitness wise, so um, if you start comparing yourself to another rider, you will never really meet the best expectation for yourself. Okay, now let's go back to Lavanya. So Lavanya is doing a really good hard effort. She's maintaining the gap between herself and Dr. Lavangi. It did drop down to about 2 minutes and 30, but now it's up to 2 minutes and 48. So it's going to be interesting to see the race results at the end. Here we can see the iconic volcano, part of the volcano circuit. So ever since Sasi crossed Dr. Lavangi, she's got added incentive to not let him out of his sight. So she's hovering right behind him, about 6, 7, 8 seconds behind. She's not letting him get away. That's really amazing to watch. Sometimes others can bring the best in you, but then again, you can only push so far. Lavanya's doing great. She's still holding that 2 minutes and 30, 2 minutes and 40 second gap, which is amazing. So she's doing a really good effort, good watts per kilo. She's at least matching up with the other riders and making sure that they don't catch up to her. So that's excellent work. Okay, Sasi started putting in some distance between himself and Dr. Lavangi. Um, it was hovering about 6, 7 seconds. Now it's down to about, it's increased to about 12 seconds. So he's probably utilizing his lower body weight in the incline section to kind of put a little bit of a gap. So Lavanya is getting close to the finish. So we can see that her heart rate is up to 192 beats per minute. Her cadence is much higher, 93, 94, which is excellent. So she knows she has to push hard to maintain that gap between herself and the others. So she's giving it her all. She's just crossed the meetup start location. She has to cross the banner to finish the overall route. So that's just about another kilometer away and she's almost there. Sasi is just finishing up with the volcano circuit. He's brought the gap between himself and Lavanya down to 2 minutes and 19 seconds. It was about 2:40 a few minutes ago, so he's been putting in some hard work. And looks like Lavanya has completed, so kudos to her. Let's keep an eye on Sasi and Dr. Lavangi. Oh no, she's still on. She dropped off for a second. Okay, she's just about to finish. Another 400 meters to go. She's just about to finish. There we go. She's putting in a hard ditch effort to finish strong. Another 200 meters and she'll be done. Her heart rate is up to 193, so she's certainly giving it her all. That's it. Last 100 meters and she is done. Oh. Okay, so now we are back to Sasi and he is about a kilometer away from the finish line, and Dr. Lavangi is also closely behind. She's still maintaining that gap. Sasi did put in about 14 seconds a few minutes back, but she's still holding it about 16, 17 seconds now, so good job to her as well. Okay, come on Sasi, push hard. You're within the last kilometer. Oops. Okay, back to Dr. Lavangi. So she's also within the last kilometer now, so it's all about giving it everything, leaving it on the table. Five 100 meters to go for Sasi and about 600, 700 meters to go for Dr. Lavangi. Sasi will just cross the banner and he will still have another 200 meters to go after that. Okay, Dr. Lavangi is doing a really hard effort. She's reduced the gap from 17 seconds to about 10 seconds now. She's doing close to 3 watts per kilo. which is amazing. Uh, keep pushing, Doc. The banner is not the finish line. I think she thought the banner was the finish line. And Sasi is just done, as is Dr. Lavangi as well. Alright, thanks everyone, thanks for joining. I will take a look at the race results and publish it on the group.